All right, folks. 2 weeks back to back. Me and Dusty at our regular scheduled time, our regular scheduled day. Hey, folks, things are slowing down, but it's okay. It's getting hot outside, y'all. It's summer and spring is here. Summer's on the way. But in the meantime, from the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks, from Eve After Dark to concerts in the park, you're live with your boy Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop, and my partner in crime, anytime, my main man, Dusty Vision, folks. Dusty one, we got it. You coming with the heat today, baby? Bringing the heat.
Oh yeah, you know it. What's going on, Lons?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. What about yourself, Doc?
Man, can't complain. My birthday's tomorrow. Gemini season is in full effect, baby. I know your birthday's in a few weeks.
Happy pre-birthday.
Summertime is here, like you said, man. Dang, dude, I can't believe it. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. 47 times around the sun, man. That's crazy just saying that. It seems like yesterday it was the 90s and I was listening to people that you helped inspired and you raised and things like that, man, going back to hip hop and everything. So it's just crazy being 47, man. When did it hit you, Lonzo, that damn, man, I think I'm old. I'm unk now.
Last week. The more I talk to folks like yourself, I'm like, damn, I'm literally old enough to be your daddy. Easy. I'm old enough to be your dad. I got a daughter older than you. So when you start looking back at the generations behind you, and Dusty got a kid, and Dusty could be a granddad. I mean, that will put me in great granddad position. And I'm like, damn, man, you know what? This shit went by fast, dude. People don't realize how fast these years go by, man. I swear, it seemed like I just walked up Jeffy steps to go to Eve After Dark in 1979, and everything else is just a blur. And that's why sometimes you ask me certain things, I only certain triggers will get me to recall certain things, because you've doing a lot, man. But you've done a lot in different categories. I guess it makes your time go by a lot faster, because it took me a minute to realize that I left my club at Hollywood Park Casino over 20 years ago. 2000, it was 2008 when I left there. It was almost 20 years ago when I left the Hollywood Park Casino. Almost 20 years. My club, the Current Affair, I left that summer gun in 2002, 23 years ago. So when you look back and you start earmarking and dating things that you've done, and you've spent 6 years here and 8 years here, and all these years were not in a particular situation, or like jail or a job, they go by real fast, man.
Well, shout out to the summertime. It's here, man. We talk about it every year, Lonzo, but what are some of your songs that get you in the mood for the summertime? Me, nothing like Will Smith's Summertime. That's my all-time favorite summer song. What about you, Lonzo?
Man, my boys, either the Isley Brothers or Earth, Wind, and Fire, always set the summer off for me, dude. Always set the summer off. They'd always drop in May, man, and have the soundtrack for the entire summer. And a lot of those records are still, ingrained in my heart, just like Will Smith is for you. And I like Will Smith Summertime, but when I was DJing and driving my van to gigs in the summertime and warping records out in the park, all that right there, man, that was all done to Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Isley Brothers, dude.
That Earth, Wind, and Fire song blew up big time. Talk to us about what you remember about that song specifically. It's been sampled many times over by different rappers, but such a great beat, and there's no lyrics in the song. Am I correct?
Well, which one are you talking about? That's a bunch of them. It's the whole catalog.
It's called, isn't it called Summertime or something like that? Summer. Right. Let me look it up.
Oh, you talking about Summer Madness by Kool and the Gang.
Summer
Madness of Kool and the Gang. That's Summer Gun right there.
That's Kool and the Gang, right?
Kool and the Gang. Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, that right there, man. Dude, you have to realize that the era in which I grew up, We didn't want to do nothing but vibe out and chill. You know, songs like Summer Madness, anything by Lonnie Liston Smith, Michael Henderson, Dramatics, even some of the Earth, Wind, and Fire tracks. Just that's the way of the world. Come on, man. That song was a cruising song for us, dude. So we our mindset was totally different. We wasn't thinking about trying to shoot nobody, no BBLs, none of the stuff that's become standard in today's society, man. So it just made the vibe of the summer. All we want to do is go to the beach, to the fair, because that's when the fair was in the summertime. Go to the beach, go to the fair, to the park. That's it. Maybe get short time at the nearest motel.
Short time. These kids don't know about short time.
Short time. Short time. Long time. Short time.
1 hour. 1 hour. 1 hour.
1 hour. $15. 1 hour. 15. I used to always
cover your ears, wifey.
I used to always buy two. We can get 2 hours, $15. And they be on your ass. Don't try to go for two. Don't be trying to go for two. They be time up. And they had a little bell in the room. Bing, 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 bing. If your ass is asleep, they woke your ass up. All the rooms smell like menthol.
Damn.
Okay. So all of them smell like menthol. Yeah. Them was the good old days. They made them stop doing that shit, man. That because hookers messed the game up because all the short time motels was on Figueroa. So if you just had a little time for your lunch break or after work, you go, hey, meet me over at spot so and so, and go home. You know, be home for time for dinner. Shit. Don't let me start telling on myself. Go ahead.
I want to play a clip for you, Lonzo, being that summertime is here. And you and I and most men appreciate a woman who, can dress sexy, but, still keep it classy. And, the summer's hot, girls are dressing less. There's a fine line between, being a classy individual, looking sexy, and looking like a straight up hoe. Felicia Rashad, shout out to her, Miss Cosby. She recently went viral for some comments she made on the Breakfast Club. This was a few weeks back, but this is Felicia Rashad talking about today's fashion trends revealing too much, especially when it comes to women.
Came up in an era, Miss Rashad, where dignity and grace were everything. So you ever look at how wild Hollywood is now, and you just think to yourself, boy, y'all got it easy. Y'all wouldn't have got away with that in my day.
Yeah, I don't even have to look at Hollywood. I could look at the way young ladies dress.
Mm-hmm.
They're so beautiful. And something has happened in popular culture. And I don't mean to be critical, and I hope the young ladies listening don't take this as personal criticism, because I don't mean it that way. But your young queen, I'm taken aback when I see on a college campus young women dressed in strips of clothing. But more importantly than that, no man wants his woman to be out like that.
So, of course, as anything in 2025, she's getting a lot of backlash for that comment. What do you think about the beautiful, lovely, still looking fly as hell Felicia Rashad in her comment?
First of all, she can catch a fade at 75. Okay, she can catch a fade. Let's say that. All right. But you got to understand, man, that she comes from an era with artists like Lita Horne and Diana Ross, Diane Carroll, when all those women were always trying to out-glamour each other. They was never trying to out-hoe each other, okay? They was always trying to out-glamour each other. And to see the culture has been straight up just been stripped of all type, anything got to do with class is like out the window for a certain age group. There's some people trying to hold on to it, but they get ridiculed, dude, and especially women. And it's becoming so normal to be and look like a hoe. And thank God none of my daughters tripped that way. None of their friends tripped that way. but it makes it hard for girls, good girls, or decent girls, or guys not to get caught up. And that's why more than anything, I know a couple of guys who got good girls, but still got caught up with the hoes because the hoes is magnetic. Hoes can be magnetic, and people and women will go after a man just because he is good to another woman, just to make sure that she can prove that he ain't shit, and her and or have her help. She will call a woman a hooker, a hoe, will go after a woman's man just to break her heart. Okay, because she thinks she got somebody special, and he slept with this broad right here. Now, the problem with that is, we finna get a history lesson. I was having this conversation this morning. The average man, for him to wake up in the morning, the average man over 18 to 18 or maybe even 30, no, 14 to 30. When you wake up in the morning, your friend wake up before you do. He will wake you up looking for something to do, just something to do. And that something to do is a bodily function for us, like going to the restroom. We have no more attachment to an orgasm than we do a turd. Okay? We have no more attachment to an orgasm than we do a turd. Okay? And y'all think it don't mean nothing to us. And this is why women can walk down the street and get a man's attention, because you got him riled up and he needs a release. And how much? Okay, cool. You ain't never seen no man walking down the street looking for a woman that I can recall. How much he was selling himself to women. Now there's women who pay for men. Don't get me wrong, but you never seen a man on the street half naked. Women pull up. Oh, he got some nice nuts. Oh my God, look at his nuts. Oh my God, I got to rock them nuts. We see ass, we see titties. Oh, I got to have that. Women don't do the same thing because it takes more for them to be attracted to him. I mean, yeah, they may like his physique. I don't mean he automatically want to sleep with him. It's a whole different mindset. But like I said, we are no more attached to a physical orgasm than we are taking a piss. It's the same thing for us, and that's the part women don't understand. Just because you do this, don't mean you're gonna do that.
That's so true, Lonzo. And that reminds me, less and less people are getting married. Less and less people are having kids. I mean, women out there, their competition right now is these robots that look just like women. And, they probably do just the same job. So, dear women, it's nothing against you. But like Lonzo said, ejaculation is like urination. And we're going to get that either way. But it makes perfect sense by you saying what you just said, that why less people are getting married, less people are going out dating, less people are having kids.
The scenario makes little to no sense for the man. Kevin Samuels said it. I've been saying this for decades. The scenario makes no sense for the man, because if he hooked up with somebody that's not evenly yoked, that means they ain't both out there grinding. And a lot of women today, they're not grinders. They watchers. They cheerleaders. Go to work. Give me some babies. Take care of the house. Buy me some shoes. Yay, daddy. Give me half. I'm finna go live my best life. I'm done. I'm tired of this. Give me half to live my best life. What I do? Nothing. I'm just tired of you. And when you have situations that are, there's no accountability. There's no reason nobody has any accountability anymore, man, when it comes to anything. Accountability is no longer mandatory. So a brother can do all he has to do for family, kids, wife. And one day she says, "Nah, I found me a new set of nuts I want to ride on. I'm out. By the way, I need to have. I need that. Okay, I need to have. And what you gonna do? and I've seen it happen too many times, and we've been put into situations economically where it just is. If any young man that's watched old men, like, why I want to do that? You stand on the side of the road, and they say that 50% of the people that try to cross the freeway go get hit by cars. You looking at all the carnage of all the bodies that's been hit by various cars, and you still want to cross that freeway. Why? What is in that center divider that's worth you getting hit by a car? I don't know. Think about that for a minute, folks.
Yep.
That's real talk.
50% of marriages end in a divorce.
Yep. It's even higher than that now in some cases. Some pretty much, if you go by states, shit, it get higher than that.
Yeah, in California specifically, especially.
So yeah, Doc, it can get real crazy, man. So I ain't trying to ruin nobody's piss on nobody's parade, but that's the reality of
it. Yeah, and it is wedding season. I've been to like 4 damn weddings in the anyway, we're not going there. But you're speaking some game, Lonzo, some grown ass men enlightenment.
I wish somebody would invite me to a wedding. I am not going. I tell you what, I might show up at the after party, but
I only go for the free food and booze.
I tell you what I ain't gonna do. I ain't gonna be in a wedding. I told my buddies, I was in so many weddings back in the day. Every time I come, I'm going to rent a tuxedo. I got to go to the rehearsals. I got to stand to this chick who I don't know, and go through all the bullshit, the whole 2 or 3 days basically of time just giving them. And then y'all just get divorced a few months later, a year later. I told my boys that if you want me to be in your wedding, this is the deal. You got a 5-year return policy on my tuxedo cost, man. Any cost I incur in being in your wedding, if you get divorced within 5 years, I want my money back. I want my money back. No, are you crazy? No, I'm not. I'm serious. If it don't work out, cash me out. Okay? I'm not standing up with you and this woman for y'all just to waste my time and spend my money. I'm not doing it. So anyway, go ahead.
That's that grown-ass man enlightenment. Chuck D from Public Enemy has a cold bar. And as soon as I heard it, I thought about you. The bar is, quote, "I've been your age, you haven't been mine yet."
Right.
As an older cat in the game of life, what do you think when you hear that quote? "I've been your age, you haven't been mine yet"?
Well, first of all, anybody looking for some advice from anybody that's their age or younger, you're looking to get caught up. They don't know enough. You ever notice? Think about this. Just common sense. When was the last time you seen the coaches of any sport team be the same age as the players? Okay? They don't just grab somebody off the bench and have them coach the team, whether it be baseball, football, basketball, whatever the case may be. That person who is coaching the team has won before. He's played on the team. He's been a winner. He knows how to win. So if you want some advice from somebody, you got to get somebody who's already been there. I talk to all my old heads all the time, whether it be Lenny Williams, Swamp Dog, anybody who's still doing it at 70, 75, 83 years. Swamp Dog, 84 years old, be 84 this year. Still doing shows, man. Still doing what he do. Still doing his documentaries. It's a reason why he can do that. Why? How are you able to do that? What is your secret? I want to know. I want to know some young rapper's secret who's been shot, who's facing charges. What are he gonna tell me? He need to learn how I survive in these streets without facing charges, without being shot. That's the difference.
Oh. Yeah, I indirectly get free game every single week by doing this show with you. And I enjoy hanging out with older cats. And I always say older respectfully, but I enjoy just even hearing stories and just getting, once again, free game. That is just, unfortunately, we're just losing more and more of that. You're in your 60s. One of my best friends in the world is 62. And whenever I have a real serious question, about life or something like that, or something that, maybe I don't want to ask the average 47-year-old, even though that is old as hell too, but I'd rather ask somebody who's been there before, who knows stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely appreciate that, man. That's why I gravitate towards the older cats.
Let me say this about 47, Doc. My mother died when she was 47, dude. My mother died a month before her 48th birthday. I was 19 years old. At that time, people told me, I said, my mom got cancer. Well, after she passed, she just died. How old was she? 47. She was so young. At 19 years old, 47 seemed old. Okay. At 67, you still a youngster. You still a youngster. And that's the difference. When you look at somebody, you're looking ahead of time and see somebody who is where you want to be, as opposed to looking back and seeing somebody that you used to be. It's a big difference. And that's the part that these youngsters don't get.
Yeah, man, I get that all the time. And when someone thinks they're insulting me in my comments on my channel or something like that, shut your old ass up. Shut your old ass up. I pray, young man, that you make it to at least see 47 and beyond that.
You got to put something else on that, Dusty. You want to see 47 on the streets and healthy. It's more than just being 47. It's a lot of unhealthy cats out here in their 40s, man. A lot of unhealthy cats out here. A lot of cats they celebrate birthdays in jail every day. They'll make you a cupcake cake in a minute. Or one of the what you call them in jail? What do you call them things?
Spread.
Spread. They'll make you a birthday. They make birthday spreads in jail every day, man. So if you on the streets healthy, not in jail, man, you're doing damn good as a black man. That's a start right there. That a bunch of cats can't say, but take advantage of it.
Yeah. I don't know how much of a knucklehead you were when you were younger, Lonzo. I got an idea based on doing the show with you for 8 years now that you were more smarter than a knucklehead, but I'm sure you had your knucklehead moments. But was there ever a time in your young life where you're like, I don't think I'm going to make it past 21. I don't think I'll make it past 25.
That cop was on my ass. That was a terrifying time, dude. When that cop, me and that cop declared hatred for each other, he got a gun and a badge and the power to arrest me any given moment. That was a terrifying time. In fact, the one time I spent more than a day in jail, they couldn't find my clothes, man. I thought he was behind it. And they had just found Ron Settles. You look up Ron Settles, folks. Ron Settles was a basketball player that was found hung in Signal Hill back in the day. And I just knew I was destined for the same treatment, dude. I'm in jail. They can't find. How you not gonna find my clothes? I ain't had on a t-shirt and a pair of jeans. How you can't find that? Take them 2 days to find it, man. Meanwhile, I'm stressing like a son of a gun, dude. I'm stressing like Diddy. I was stressing like Diddy, dude. Okay? I was under some Diddy pressure. They finally found my clothes and let me go. But when I got out of jail, he'd been transferred out. I was so happy. But yeah, there was a time, dude, and I thought I wasn't gonna make it.
So he just transferred out and disappeared out of your life, ruined the hell out of your life for a short time, but just disappeared. Never heard from him again.
Never heard from him again, man. But when I moved to Dudos, shortly after I had the little thing with the county, I moved my operation to Dudos. So Jeffy was like, "Hey, man, this dude was on our ass. He was causing problems. He was causing me problems, but the problems was trickling down to Jeffy." And that's when we shut the Eve down. I moved to Dudos, and he still haunted my ass because he knew where I lived at. And I just started out slicking, man. I had to sneak around. I'd go around the neighborhood, around 2 or 3 blocks out the way and come up the back way. Because sometimes I would see him at the top of the hill waiting on me. And I'm like, dude, he's waiting on me. Oh my God. And then we're talking about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. We're talking about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, man. All kind of lies could be told at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So I just realized that, I just had to start doing some other things. And I changed my routing of coming home where he had to figure it out. By the time he figured it out, I was already home. He never knocked on my door, but he always, I left the house, pulled up in the house. It was always some bullshit.
Is that the same one that put the pistol to your head? Or that was a totally separate situation?
It's a totally separate situation, man. Totally separate situation.
Damn.
Yep. So I should be a cop. I should be a cop hating son.
That's crazy, man.
I should be.
Yeah, I mean, damn, dude. Especially back then, no cameras, no nothing. No, it was just your word against
the
officers, and usually the officer would come out better in court, right?
Whatever lie he told was the one they was gonna go with. I got caught up one time in Lindenwood with a gun, and I had the gun in my briefcase. The bullets were locked in my glove compartment, and the cop took a knife, broke the glove compartment open, and put the bullets in the gun and chambered it, and wrote his report. I had the gun in my lap when he pulled up on me. I had to go hire a lawyer, $1,500, and they got everything suppressed. Case dismissed.
Damn. Yeah, that's why when cameras were around, started coming around and being popular, I realized it was going to help against things like that also. Yes, it's Big Brother watching everything you do, but I mean, it's also, I'm sure less and less people are spending their whole lives in jail for something they didn't do than they were back in the 80s. There's probably, a bunch of people still in prison right now for shit they didn't do. Just some cop lied on the thing, and now the cop's retired and just enjoying his own life while there's somebody sitting in prison for the rest of theirs.
His business. Ain't worried about nothing he said. And nothing he did is going to affect his life, his pension, anything else. It's all good. You're the one that's destroyed. And that's when I was studying law. I studied a couple of law classes at El Camino. That was one of the things they talked about, how cops and prosecuting attorneys have immunity. So they can just make up some shit, get caught making a lie, and go on about their business. They can literally make a lie or tell a lie, back it up, and you go to jail, and they find out a few years later that they lied. You might get out of jail, but they're not going to do nothing to them cops or the attorney.
Yeah, the system is definitely effed up in that sense.
Yep. So
we're about halfway through the show, so I'm going to remind everybody to hit that like button if you haven't already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, you are tuned in to N.W.A. Stories with Lonzo Williams. I am Dusty Vision. That is the godfather of West Coast hip hop. If you have any questions, post them in the chat, and we'll get to them during the second half of the show. But Sarah Catherine says, I just finished reading your book, Lonzo. Now, let's double down on that, Lonzo, because I just came across something. I don't know if it's new or old, but the Made in Compton store. I saw that you had some stuff in there. Is that a new store?
It's been a while for a minute. Brother who owned it,
okay,
had an issue, man, a few years ago. He got shot, and my girl, one of my friends, we call her Go to Work, Nichelle, she took over the store. She runs it for him, and they have a tour that comes through the Compton store daily almost. And hey, now people always ask about books. So I put my books in there, and she sells the hell out of them. Yeah. Yep.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, because Compton it's a landmark. It's pop culture. It's part of pop culture, right?
Yep.
Safe to say.
Yep. Compton is probably one of the most well-known cities in the world, and it don't have a amusement park in it.
That's good for them. Okay, I'm gonna have to go support that. I didn't know it was even around, but now that I know, I'm definitely gonna go show some support. I encourage everybody out there in LA to check it out too, the Made in Compton store. Did you ever think that they'd be doing tours of Compton back in the day, Lonzo? Like, you know what I mean? In this sense, especially?
No. Compton was hot as fish grease, man, back in the day. Nah, dude. No, I didn't see no tours coming through Compton at all. But at some point in time, things change, dude. That's why I tell people all the time, you don't know what's going to happen. Just be ready for anything. Compton was one of the most dangerous cities in the world for a while. All of a sudden, it's beloved by everybody. Ain't nobody, and just like Kendrick said, they're not like us. It is what it is, Doc. You can't take it from the city.
Let's get to some questions, Lonzo, that have been piling up from past shows and just questions that I've had. And once again, if anyone has any questions in the chat, shoot them to me. Shoot them to the chat, and I'll copy and paste them. But you mentioned I had some bad R&B producers on my team. Can you name some of them and give us some background? You mentioned that you introduced several of them to Dr. Dre as well. Can you go a little bit deeper into your R&B producers you used?
William Zimmerman, we called him Willie Z. He was out of Monrovia, California. He was one of the main guys for Leon Silvers of the Silvers. He was on the producers for Leon. He played saxophone. He played keyboards, and he was my in-house guy as far as engineer and musician. MIDI first came out, he was a master of that shit, and he knew how to program and sync up everything. He was he's still a smart dude. He lives in Texas now. Booker Matlock. Booker Matlock was a keyboard player and engineer who played with New Birth for years. He played with New Birth. He played with Marvin Gaye. He played with a lot of cats back in the 60s. He got into the game and got him a state-sponsored vacation for a while. And he came here to me and started doing his community service and worked with me. Keg Johnson. Keg Johnson wrote a bunch of hits that from the 70s. L.A. Dre. L.A. Dre was a local Compton celebrity. I've been doing since junior high school to high school, and he would hang out at Eve After Dark, and him, Stan the Guitar Man. All these guys we all grew up together. We all grew up in the same era, and because of my relationship, Dre got turned on to him, and that's a lot of what you saw in the Ruthless days and Death Row days.
Okay. So do you know if any of them worked on any specific songs by any chance? Anything on the Chronic that we would know, or any?
L.A. Dre worked on a ton of stuff.
Anything on
L.A. Dre worked a lot. He worked on a lot of stuff for Michelet. He was one of the main guys for Michelet, along with Laylaw. Laylaw, rest his soul. In fact, L.A. Dre, rest his soul as well. Also worked on Michelet, and he wrote for Michelet. And L.A. Dre, keyboards, music director for Ruthless on the Michelet album. And then Laylaw wrote a lot of songs. I think he wrote Something in My Heart and Nicety or something to that effect. So all these guys got super credits.
How much more can an artist make if they're an all-around musician, as meaning they rap, they write, they produce their own work, versus someone who just comes in and I'm a rapper, I'm a really good rapper?
The all-around guy, like a Prince of rap, his potential is endless, because not only will he be doing his stuff, he'll be doing other work for other people, just like Prince did. The guys who just do great rappers like Ice Cube, who has to have a producer, you're going to be limited, but you can focus on your rap career and expand on other things. So everything has its plus and minuses. Cube is a great writer, a great rapper, but he don't produce. He don't do a lot of other people's stuff. He worked with people like Dub C and the other brother Mac 10, but I've never known any Cube. Yeah, I've never known Cube to be a writer for anybody. Maybe he has, other than Eazy-E. Put it that way. I'm sorry, other than Eazy-E. Whereas a Dre produces everybody, but Dre don't. He rap, but he ain't really a rapper per se. He does. He don't do no tours, but he can hold his own on the record. But he got tracks with everybody. DJ Quick is probably one of the only guys you can think of that does all of it. He raps, produces other people, writes his own stuff, and he's an all-around guy. He got a whole bunch of cats he's produced. He performs. He does his own music, he's probably one of the most underrated guys on the West Coast because he is that talented guy. He has his own sound. His sound ain't created by nobody. That's his sound. You listen to a quick record, you know it when you know that boing, you know the guitars, you know all the things, all of those signs that indicate it's a quick record. Whereas, and he samples, but he don't sample that much. Whereas a lot of early Dre stuff with a lot of samples, and you could tell a Cube song. But Quick has lent his sound to other people like Tony, High C, Second to None, Penthouse Players. He's done a lot of stuff. So that is the difference. You have more versatility, which gives you more revenue streams of income to generate from. But again, Cube is focused on his rap songs. Because he's focused on this rap, he can do this basketball thing. He can do the movie thing. So it all has his plus and minus. There's no right or wrong way to do this thing, man. There's no right or wrong way to do it.
Someone wants to know, from your point of view, did Jerry really genuinely love Eazy, or was it more of a business relationship?
I don't know, man. When everybody's winning, everybody's in love with everybody. When everybody's winning, everybody's in love. Everybody in love. When you bring in me checks and you bring me a big old fat check, and I break you off a fat piece of that fat check for your pockets, oh man, ain't nothing but some love. It's the hard times that really show love, man. It's the hard times that really show love. And that's the part a lot of cats, everybody in love, along with everybody on the streets, let the brother go to jail. See how much love he got. Same thing. Let him realize, oh shit, you paying for what with my money? You did what with my money? That's still my money. But I love you. Oh, no. Wait. Why? If you love me so much, why is this happening? Why is that happening? Hey, man, it's all, as long as you cutting up checks, you're cutting up love.
Do you know if Eazy and Jerry ever went through hard times at Ruthless, or did they pretty much hit the ground running and it was a windstorm? They were making buku bucks until Eazy passed. Do you know if there was ever any hard times? Because obviously in Straight Outta Compton, we see Eazy selling weed and all this stuff that everybody around him said was BS. But did you know if they experienced any hard time?
Well, you know what? Hard times, I wouldn't say hard times. If you're talking about it from a financial standpoint, I don't see that. The first album they had was JJ Fad, platinum. Michelle, platinum. N.W.A, platinum. Eazy, platinum. So I don't see money being an issue, but that extra attention that you get from the FBI, from the haters, from the hood, that can put a damper in your success. So financially, I wouldn't say they had no hard times. But collectively, Cube, Arabian Prince leave. He out for soon to get off a tour. Cube leaving, Dre leaving, Suge after you. Me and Jerry fall out. Come on, man. Hard times cannot always be accounted for in dollars. Just the stress of having to constantly dealing with all the extra stuff that comes along with being successful, whether it be, like I said, your boys leaving you, people want to kidnap you, people want to rob you, you can't trust. Come on, man. Come on. You can't trust no women, can't trust no dudes. Everybody say they got your back, but is that a pat on the back or is that a knife in my back? Hey, it's a whole another situation, Doc. No, he probably, how would he have to sell weed? And when he died, Jerry won a $20 million lawsuit. That don't even make sense. But you got to have some things in the movie to make people give you that ups and downs, that roller coaster effect. You got to have a great antagonist. Whether you have two of them in the movie, that movie had three of them. It had me in the beginning, Suge, and then they had Jerry Heller. They had three antagonists. I had no vision. Suge won all of the money, and Dre. And Jerry was alleged, according to the movie, was screwing everybody.
Damn. Now, Arabian Prince is one that we've talked about in the past on the show, obviously, but he doesn't get talked about much when it comes to N.W.A. I don't even think he was even portrayed in Straight Outta Compton off the top of my head, but how important was Arabian Prince to the origins, the expansion, the beginnings of N.W.A.?
Arabian Prince owned all the equipment. The only person that had equipment at that time was me, Arabian Prince, and Rudy. Oh, I'm sorry. Unknown, me, Arabian Prince, and Rudy from the Dream Team. We were the guys who invested money in equipment. Dre had gotten used to what I had of it, but nobody had the recording equipment like I did. That was the difference. I bought keyboards, drum machines, but I also bought mixing boards. I always had a studio, some kind of portable studio at my house, whether it was my first house or where I am now. Arabian Prince had the ability to create cassettes, and they were able to get a lot of the stuff done, pre-production done in his house. You know, and he'll tell you, hey man, without me, I could have made the first album. They wasn't coming back over here. They was on some other kind of shit with me, and they went to him, and he provided the equipment, everything they needed, and did beats. Something to Dance To and Panic Zone ain't nothing but Wrecking Crew songs with Arabian Prince doing the lead. Think about it. Okay, so that was the sound that got them initially got them attention and on the radio, but it wasn't. They came out with "Express Yourself" and some other songs, and it kind of flipped the script. They went from being a dance group to the gangster thing.
Now, do you think hip hop should have a union? And this is a question that's been asked a couple times. Do you think hip hop should have a union, and why hasn't it happened already?
Hip hop, technically, if you record for a major, in most cases, you're in the union. You
Right.
may have, because one of the things when we were Sony, we had to pay union dues. We got them back later on because we weren't actually members. We know we were gonna stay or not. But there was talk between Curtis Blow and KRS-One and Chuck D and some folks here on the West Coast about us joining the musician union. Okay, finding ways for DJs and rappers to be a part of the musicians union, which is only fair. But I don't know what the progress is, but it has been conversation. You know, why reinvent the wheel? You know, why reinvent the wheel? Because you got to get a lot of people together. These people already have the machine to make it happen. All you have to do is find a way to make it work. But the problem with that is streaming. I would think the current state of streaming would not allow a union artist to function in a union because you got to have so many streams to get paid. You know, nobody's going to the studio. Most cats that are programmers are not union programmers. They got union musicians, keyboard players. I'm not going to say drum DJs not considered union. So that means those union sessions are not union sessions. So that means every guy that goes in the studio and do scratching would have to join the union. Most of those guys don't get paid enough money to pay their bills and union dues. They'd have to find a way to accommodate a DJ for going into a studio and scratching, just like they do with a guitar player, a drummer, or a keyboard player. Those sessions back in the day was like $150 per song. Or, the union had a per song or a solo rate, or it was all kind of different rates ways you got paid, and they made sure you got paid. But again, you was dealing with Sony Records or Warner Brothers, who are also union houses, and they respected the power of the union. I don't see Def Jam, I don't see Death Row, none of them labels doing that. Keeping it 100.
I have to credit this next question to Charlemagne the God, one of my radio idols, one of the best to ever do it, in my opinion. But when he was recently interviewing Curtis Blow and Chuck D, he asked this question. I was like, I got to ask Lonzo that question. What do you think hip hop lost when it went corporate, and what did it gain?
It gained a lot of money, a lot of global influence. It lost its spontaneity. what made hip hop so popular back in the day is because it was controlled by independent record producers, independent labels, and independent distributors with independent radio stations. And that little sub conglomerate of power, I can make a record in a matter of minutes, take it to K-Day, which is the independent radio station, take it down to Associated Records or one of many local distributors and get it all through the Chitlin circuit and other distribution networks and be on the road. And I would never see a major radio station. I would never see a major concert hall, but I'm eating the whole time. And that spontaneity got killed. Same thing with the CBS. We had Sony. And I'm used to making records. As soon as one record slowed down, I'd drop another one. And at Sony, we had to stand in line like everybody else. We had to stand in line behind Luther Vandross, Tina Marie, Marvin Gaye, whoever was on the label. We was behind them. And eventually dropped us. I mean, they would drop our records. But shit, everything we said in January is dead in January. It's dead by July. You know, you can't do a diss record on somebody in December and it come out in July. The feud is over with. You sound old as hell before it hit the streets. You sound dated. You still mad at them. You still mad at somebody. Everybody. This nigga doesn't apologize to everybody. Because the majors didn't understand the necessity for moving fast when it came to records, when it came to independence. They didn't understand how artists build careers on dissing each other. And the only way you can get a diss record, make it popular, is you had to respond immediately with your own diss record. And you can't do that waiting 6 months to get a release date. Can't do it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Although you got to pile the money. Because it's like I explained this before. Trying to get a major to move is like trying to get a luxury liner to turn around. You can't turn you can turn a rowboat in a matter of seconds. You can't turn a cruise ship, man. That's something that takes a while to turn back around. Okay, it's the same thing with a major and independent. The independent being a dinghy, in a matter of seconds, you can flip it around, be doing something different. That major, you got to go too many departments. You have to get approval from. Get anything done.
Do most of the majors in your, in your knowledge, do they make the artists? Let's say they have an album of, let's just say 12 songs. Do they make them say, okay, you got to do a love song, you got to do a club song, you got to do a R&B based song, you got to do this song?
Nah, they never did us like that. We go into the studio and we did our demo, and they thought we were finished because we had a couple of ballads on there. We had dance songs. No, they don't really do it like that. I mean, they let the artist pretty much do what he's gonna do. The producer pretty much get to do what he wants to do on the project, because that's one thing. They don't really get involved in the creative aspect. At least back then they didn't. And unless you just didn't bring them no heat. If you're bringing me some bullshit, I got to call somebody to help you out because you're gonna waste my money and make me lose my job. And that's the way that's the way the thing actually developed.
Okay. Art Chavez has a good question. He says, Lonzo, artists in the East Coast started with live bands in the beginning of hip hop. Did any early West Coast artists follow the same pattern or immediately went to making music with electronic devices?
Out here, well, I'm gonna say this right here.
What about Afro-Man? I feel like Afro-Man was ahead of the game with that. Was he?
Afro-Man had one guitar. He didn't have a band. He didn't have a band till later on. He didn't have a band till he blew up. Up until then, everybody was doing. He had one guitar. He would pluck. I guess you could give him a little bit of that. We all went straight. Drum machines was always our go-to. I never had a band. I had a band later on. I had bands at Eve After Dark that played, and we rapped. The band would play while we rapped our EAD rap. I had a 3-piece band called Sundance, Green Eyes, and Black. Boys was bad. A drummer, a drummer, bass player, and a guitar player. And these are some bad dudes. They would kick ass, and the drummer would sing. And my EAD rap was a knockoff, was ripped off from a Rock Skate Roll Bounce. That's the easy ass bass line. So once Homeboy got the bass line, shit, we went on stage at Even. We rocked that shit. We didn't record it, but we rocked it. But for the most part, LA, nah, man, because LA was still that's why I keep telling people. All while hip hop was West Coast was East Coast was claiming to be the birthplace of hip hop. It wasn't the same in LA in the 70s, man. We were still doo-wopping damn near. There was no all the bands in LA had 5 cats out front singing and dancing. That still goes on today. So nah, you might have somebody do a rap record, a band do a rap record, but for the most part, wasn't no rappers doing no live entertainment, no live performing. And every song I ever did until I got to Turn Off the Lights, it was all programmed programmed drums, programmed keyboards, and then Bill and Will Rock and Frank came in and did some, and Bob Dog did some stuff on Turn Off the Lights.
Yeah. Shout out to AK King, the king of pop. He says, bro, Lonzo is a wealth of information. He gives us the internal organs of not just West Coast hip hop, but hip hop in general. We are lucky to have him. And I'm glad we could give him his flowers, definitely, while you're here, Lonzo. This is information that, like we said before, in 50, 60 years, when we're no longer here, this is going to be the story. Otherwise, you would go down as the guy who hated hip hop, and he was mentioned for 30 seconds in one of the biggest hip hop movies of all time.
Right. Here's the bad part. None of this shit won't go viral till I'm gone. None of this shit won't go viral. They get ready to tell my story. All this shit is gonna be viral, and they're gonna start. Oh, I'm gonna put all these stories together and come up with some shit. My name won't be mentioned in it, and my family won't get a dime, most likely. And I said it in 2025. So when it happens, hopefully in 2000, in 30,020. Y'all know I was telling the truth.
Hey, Lonzo, you mentioned something a few weeks ago that caught my ear. It was just a brief line where you were talking about another story, but you mentioned that you used FOI for security, Fruit of Islam, back in the day. Can you explain how that comes about, how that happens, and your experience with that?
Man, being out in these streets, you meet everybody. I had met Tony Muhammad back in the day. I met Big Shaheed. Big Shaheed, good dude, man. Big, like 6'7", 6'9", big brother, man. Good brother. He ran the FOI security in Compton. And in fact, my man Marvin, Ayatollah Marv, one of the guys used to work with me at Dudo's. So the FOI was always been so respected in the community. It was a good way to provide security without having a bunch of guns around. And I could have deal. And I brought New Edition to Dudo's. I could have deal with Big Shaheed, rest his soul, and had them do the inside for me for Dudo's. And I had a Compton PD outside, and I wanted something on the inside other than my guys, And like I said, them bow ties get a lot of respect. And that's how I brought the Muslim, the FOI, into my security team.
Yeah, they seem like they demand respect, but in a very peaceful way. I don't know how to explain, the FOI. How did you did someone give you advice to use them? Did any of your people around you use them? You saw it just worked out really good?
If I'm not mistaken, man, Reggie Wright Sr. told me to talk to them.
Mm.
Yeah, if I'm mistaken, because they've always been respected in the community, man. Them brothers, hey, yeah, you ain't never heard nobody robbing nobody for no bean pies. You ain't never heard anybody robbing a brother selling bean pies or them papers. Never.
Yeah. Strict and Funky. When are you guys gonna interview Julio G? That would be a dope interview. You know Julio G personally, right?
Yeah. I got Julio, man.
We'll work on that.
Julio's doing a show someplace. I had his number. I ain't gonna call him. Still had the same number I had, but somebody gave me a number on Julio.
We'll work on that. That's gonna be a real good one because that dude is a wealth of knowledge. Also, man. So stay tuned. You don't be surprised if in a couple weeks you pull up and Julio G is going to be the guest on our show because we get a lot of last minute guests too. So, but we got a few more minutes, Lonzo, and I hate to end it on a sad note, but I think this would be a good time to talk about something that is really big in your life. And I'm pretty sure the event is coming up soon, if I'm not mistaken, in June. But unfortunately, Joe Biden has recently been diagnosed with prostate cancer. And it doesn't matter what your political views are out there, anybody. It's just sad when someone who has served the country goes out like that. But apparently it's aggressive. Apparently it's high stage. Lonzo, you are a survivor and you are a fighter to this day and an advocate for prostate cancer. And am I not mistaken that the event for prostate cancer is coming up in June?
Yeah, it's coming up in June. No, actually, we start our major push in June. June is Men's Health Awareness Month. Prostate Cancer Month is in September, and that's when we do our event. Yeah, I just heard this myself the other day. Joe Biden has stage 4 prostate cancer. Stage 4 means that the cancer is aggressive and it's moved to other parts, organs of your body. You got a problem. When you get stage 4, get your affairs in order. When you have stage 4, you probably have symptoms like pissing blood, cramps, shitting blood. It comes by both ends. And that could have been a lot of what he was dealing with in his last few months as president. It could take a toll on your body. I mean, they probably knew this. This ain't nothing new. They're just telling us, because you have to get stage 4. You have to be sick for a while to be in stage 4. This ain't something he got in November when he decided to give, or whenever he decided to give Kamala the nod to become the president. They knew already. They just weren't telling nobody. They knew already. And he knew already. That's probably why he stepped down. Because he knew he wasn't going. He probably not. If he make it to the end of the year, it'll be a blessing. And I'm not wishing the man no bad luck. I thought he did a great job, but I tell you what, I can't stand is how people are trying to politicize his illness. And I think that's really sick, man. That's really sick. There's some things you just don't do. You don't kick a man when he's down. And I heard J.D. Vance made some comments I said, man, dude, what kind of dude are you? And you just shook the hand of the Pope and he died the next day. Miss me with that bullshit. Anyway, when I heard that, man, now the former president of the United States of America, he get checked out. Right? He got the best doctors in the world. He has the access to the best medical attention in the world, and he popped up with stage 4 cancer, prostate cancer last week or this week or whatever the case may be. That wasn't no surprise, dude. They just did the press release this week. That's all. That was not a surprise.
Okay. So get checked, right?
Get checked, Doc. I got checked today, and I ain't got a prostate. I don't listen. No lie. I went to the doctor today and got my.
You going back to Figueroa, Alonzo? You ain't telling us? Just kidding.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. Just no offense to any what you just said. I'm gonna stop telling prostate cancer jokes, man. I am going to stop telling prostate cancer jokes, because those jokes, this finger is killing cats, dude. Dumb jokes And this finger is killing cats. This finger is obsolete. The jokes ain't funny no more when you know somebody that died from prostate cancer. That is part of the stigma. One of the stigma for prostate cancer has been so easy to be spread and not be treated properly because hold on one second, Doc. It's a good call. Hold on there.
You got stuck. Oh, damn, that might have been a good call. Could have been Julio G. I don't know if Lonzo knows he's frozen. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I want to give a quick shout out to the chat. Shout out to AK King, Ruthless Kens, Vista Light, Strictly Funk, the J Roos Theory. Make sure you guys subscribe to the J Roos Theory right here on YouTube. Click on his icon. Does a lot of stuff about boxing and MMA. And if you enjoy that world, shout out to J Roos Theory. Go subscribe to him. Art Chavez, Sarah Catherine. Thank you for buying Alonzo's book. Really do appreciate it. What up, Miss B? Shout out to Miss B, my girl down south. Silks BB Salon, Gerald Parker, OG Steve, man. I hope your mother's doing better, OG Steve. Much love to you, man. Shout out to the Bronx. And thank you guys for tuning in to the show. I don't know if Lonzo realizes he probably got kicked off, but I'm gonna try to get his outro going because I got to be out of here. I got a call I got to make. What does he say? Shit. He does it every week. How does it start? All right. For those who never heard of me, I'm the one who put Dr. Dre in the surgery. Stuck Ice Cube in the freezer till he got cold. Something. Super Frontline Super Bowl. And Straight Outta Compton, they play me as a hater of rap. But don't believe all of that because you know it was cat. My history goes deeper than you will ever know. And something, this is not without Alonzo. Peace, y'all.
Oh, I'm sorry. We both disappeared. All right, we both disappeared from it. There you go. I don't know what happened. So I just vowed to, like I said, I'll make fun of After Effects, but going to get checked. And here's the crazy part: the finger is optional. They have what they call the PSA, and they also have a urine test. You can piss in the cup, send it to the doctor. They can give you results of that doggone piss test, man, just like a drug test. So for people to end up with third and fourth stage cancer for no reason, that's a dumb way to die, man. That's a dumb way to die. That's a dumb way to die. Especially if you already got kids. I had a vasectomy even before I had prostate cancer. I was done with making babies. Okay, I'm still getting my groove on, but I'm done with making babies. Every time I look around, I'm making a new baby. I'm 50 years old we're not doing this no more. Okay. So yeah, man, I know we over time, but it's important that brothers, especially if you watching this podcast right now, you are most likely of age, especially if you're a male. Maybe if you're a female, don't worry about it. If you're a male watching this show right now, you need to go get checked at some point in time just to make sure, man. And if he tell you he feels something and he watching it, get a second opinion. That's what I did. That's how I found out I could have had second or third stage prostate cancer if I hadn't been insistent and I've just been a little vigilant on my health. Doctors, they supposed to take care of you, but they got a lot of people they got to take care of in a day, so they can't do everything they need to be done. Sometimes you got to be vigilant. It's your health. You don't want to go die, not him. So yeah, and stop worrying about your sex life, because dead men ain't fucking nothing. Anyway, I gotta go.
There it is, Lonzo. I already butchered your outro because I thought we were done, but you popped up right after that, so they're clowning me in the chat section. But I'm gonna let you do it properly, Lonzo. Hit it with that outro, unless you have any other words.
For those who never heard of me, I'm the first one to put Dr. Dre in the surgery. Stuck Ice Cube in the freezer till he got cold on the eve after dark, 50-yard line to Super Bowl. In the movie Straight Outta Compton, they played me like a hater of rap. Don't believe that Hollywood bullshit because it was all cap. My history goes deeper than you will ever know. Just remember that N.W.A. stands for Not Without Alonzo. Peace, y'all. We out of here till next week.